Coming up on Network Africa, Rwanda's Paul Kagame is sworn in as president for the third term in office. Three Burkina-Faso soldiers are killed at the Malian border. And South Africa police deny offering Grace Mugabe immunity. Let's begin Network Africa. Welcome to the program. Rwanda's Paul Kagame has been inaugurated as president for a third term today. Over a dozen African heads of state and leaders flew into Rwanda's capital, Kigali, to witness the inauguration, which held at the Amahoro National Stadium. Various African leaders arriving for the inauguration ceremony of the incumbent president, Paul Kagame, in Kigali. Kagame is sworn in for a third term before African leaders and his supporters, extending his 17 years in power after sealing a crushing victory at the presidential election in August.
It is truly a privilege and an honor to serve you. Together, we have lived a life which at every turn has been unexpected, unprecedented, and often shocking. Yet, we have made progress thanks to the distinctiveness of our choices and the resilience of our people. We have worked incredibly hard to rebuild our nation in a spirit of consensus, while leaving no one behind. In particular, our women, men have equal rights and opportunities. Today, Rwanda defines no one as an enemy. Whether domestic or foreign, every Rwandan has a country. And with every other country, we seek partnership and cooperation.
Kagame restored stability to Rwanda after its 1994 civil war ended in genocide, presiding over rapid economic growth. While his critics say economic progress has come at the expense of civil liberties and media freedom. Paul Kagame was not meant to stand again in any election, but Rwanda's constitution was changed in 2015 to allow him extend his rule, a move common in the region and which has alarmed Africa's democracy watchers. Rights groups and opponents accuse him of ruling with an iron fist, suffocating dissent and dealing ruthlessly with critics. He's been president since 2000 and has effectively been in control since his rebel force marched into Kigali in 1994 to end the genocide. Rwandan journalist Magnus Mazimpaka joins us live now to talk more about the inauguration and other politics in Rwanda. You're welcome to Network Africa.
Thank you.
What's the mood in Rwanda now that the inauguration of the president is over?
Well, a lot of I saw the inauguration morning across the country, meeting in different where the inauguration was organized. But the whole country was as I speak now. Almost 40-something in the past, President Macron and also former President of the country. and other high-level dignitaries from around the world. It was really, really interesting. Very big party.
I'm afraid we've lost that call, but thank you for your thoughts on that. Hopefully we can still get more of that from you. But let's just move on. Let's go to Kenya now, which has started investigating the deaths allegedly perpetrated by the police in the aftermath of last week's disputed elections. The investigation includes the death of 6-month-old Samantha Pendo, who was clubbed in her home in Kisumu.
Police Monitor has begun investigating at least 28 deaths following last week's disputed elections. The government-funded but civilian-run Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, is fast-tracking investigations of all deaths and injuries attributed to the police following the elections. According to the police chief, Macharia Njeru, the police watchdog is investigating deaths reported by police and brought forth by individuals and human rights organizations.
Section 4 of our Constitutive Act makes it mandatory for us to be impartial and to observe rules of natural justice. That means we must also listen to the police. We can't be, unlike other organizations that, you know, their work begins and ends with making the allegation, ours goes beyond that. We must go the extra step now to ensure that we listen to both parties, the victims and, of course, their families, but also the police, who also have their own side of the story.
Protests broke out after the election board announced that incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta had won by 1.4 million votes. Opposition leader Raila Odinga disputes the figure and announced he's taken his case to the Supreme Court. The acting Interior Minister, Fred Matiang'i, said that the police only killed thieves and thugs, but the 2 deaths under investigation are those of children killed in their homes. Samantha Pendo, a 6-month-old baby, was tear-gassed and clubbed by police who invaded their home in the western city of Kisumu looking for protesters. Also, Stephanie Mora, an 8-year-old girl in the Nairobi slum of Mathare, who died after being hit by a stray bullet as police fired to disperse the protesters.
By and large, we expect to conclude most of these investigations fairly quickly, because we must say that that is what we are giving special focus now. We are giving priority to these, election-related misconduct cases, because it's the right thing to do. You know, the public. We believe that the public do not want to see investigations that are taking forever. They want to know that something is actually happening.
IPOA was established by the Kenyan government in 2011 after police drew criticism for killing many protesters after the 2007 disputed elections.